This is a Christian-based private yard sale. No LBGQ supporters. Well, this is an interesting one. A turn of events where the only members that they are actually allowing are trans. Wow. Justice for trans people, I guess. Special thank you to my YouTube members and patrons for supporting the channel and supporting my content. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we are once again going to be returning to r/AccidentalAlly. Apologies for the lack of war paint and general appearance. We're going through another heat wave in the UK. We're just coming out of one, in fact, and it is too warm. Even with my window open, my fan off, I am dying. Even with the fan on, I'm dying. You can probably already see I'm starting to get shiny again after literally wiping my forehead like 5 seconds ago. So yeah, no war paint today. It would just run down my face. It's so warm. Anyway, let's take a look at the subreddit, shall we? Not a woman. Insane how, I'm not gonna dead name him, got Peterson and Rubin banned from Twitter. Ben Shapiro put not a woman in the thumbnail. Correct, Elliot Page is a man. The one thing I find incredible about Elliot Page hasn't done anything. Elliot Page didn't have to do anything to get either of those people banned. All Elliot Page had to do was exist, and he's managed to get 2 people banned from Twitter, apparently. So that's pretty elite. That's pretty powerful, if you ask me. So yeah, go Elliot Page. He's doing a great job just existing. Men, gender neutral toilet. This one's a weird one, because obviously they're trying to make the whole attack helicopter, like, oh, look at all the genders, blah, 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 meme, but they've successfully created a gender neutral toilet. So also, whoever photoshopped this, because I'm like 99% sure it's photoshopped, they did a picture of the person in a skirt and then the person in a half skirt, and then they repeated it by adding the person in a skirt, person in a half skirt. They put the same images on there twice, and I don't really understand why, but either way, they've successfully created a gender neutral toilet. So you can cut your dick and inject as much estrogen as you want, but you will never be a man, and I'm not gonna play pretend with you. Well, yeah, that's the idea. They're not a man. They don't want to be a man. They will never be a man. As you've just said, they will never be a That's so dumb. Why do they think that they are cutting their penis and injecting estrogen? They're not doing it to become a man. That's not how you become a man. Even trans men, 1, don't have one to cut. 2, not injecting estrogen. Genius. Genius. They're always absolute geniuses here. Thinking about the guy who fully told me, if you keep saying you're a lesbian, men won't want to date you. Yeah? You promise? That's the idea. Yeah, that's generally why they are lesbian, just because they don't want to date men. That is the goal, is to not date men. I'm really warm. I'm dying. I'm waning. Oh boy. Marriage is between a trans man and a trans woman. That would ironically just be between a man and a woman. You're not wrong, it would just be between a man and a woman. Congratulations, you came to the right conclusion in the wrong way. LGBTQ, BLM, vaccines, Biden, liberals, abortion, keyboard warriors, trans women are men. The last one. Yeah, that is a clown. Trans women are not men. You are correct. Good job. Also, my favorite thing about posts like this is when they talk about keyboard warriors, because they wrote out this whole post to put online. Quite often you see people that are like, I don't want any keyboard warriors in the comments, and then they have like a 3-paragraph written text like, you are the keyboard warrior. Do you not realize this? You are going out of your way to try and force your opinion on other people. You are the keyboard warrior. Why wear a cross if you choose to be lesbian? It clearly says in the Bible you shall be with someone the same gender as you. It's genius. It's brilliant. Idiot. I want to talk about the Bible real quick, because I'm going to talk about the whole marriage is between a man and a woman. It's literally stating just the opposites. In the whole of Genesis, when it's talking about created man and woman, it's not naming any of the stuff in between, because that would take up a lot of room, and that's not what it's about. It's saying God created all, so it's saying God created man, women, and everything in between. You know what it also says? It says God created flying birds and swimming fish. We have land dwelling free-swelling fish, and we have flightless birds. Do they defy God by existing? No, because that's not the point of it. It's not saying these are the only two things that can exist. It says God created night and day. We also have sunset and sunrise. Are those defying God? It says God created land and God created sea. We also have swamps. They're not defying God by being different to the two things stated. It just stated two things to broadly state everything in between. So when it says that God created man and women, it's not discounting everything else. And the people that say that must therefore believe that everything on this planet is binary. There are only flying birds and swimming fish. There is only land and sea. There is only night and day. There is nothing in between for any of those occasions because there is only man and woman. No, incorrect. No matter what you do to this building, everyone knows it used to be a Pizza Hut. That's what the trans community fails to understand. Well, first of all, you've probably met dozens of trans people in your life that you never knew were trans, so this is just blatantly false. But second of all, the building used to be Pizza Hut, sure, but if another business moves in there and you walk in and call it Pizza Hut or ask for a pizza and it's a business that doesn't sell pizza, you're an idiot. Do they not realize that the very point they've made is that if another business moves in, it's not a Pizza Hut anymore? I just don't understand the point they're making. This is what the trans community fails to understand. No, the trans community is very much representing that if someone changes their body to match their identity, a trans woman is not a man because she is a trans woman. Much like this Pizza Hut is no longer a Pizza Hut. Just because it used to be one doesn't mean it still is. LGBT public school teachers. See kids, you can be and do any kind of sex you feel like. And never say otherwise. That's called hate. Memes like this are hilarious because, first of all, this isn't being taught. But like, this is what they see as like this outlandish, insane liberal thing. But they're literally teaching anti-hate in this post. They're saying, remember, you can be who you want to be. And if someone tells you you can't, then they don't have any right to tell you that because they don't control your life. And that's called hate. And that's an actual fact. You can indeed be and do anything you want to be and do, and you shouldn't let other people tell you you can't because they're hateful. And to the people that made this meme, they think that that's some insane, crazy, outlandish thing, and it's like, no, that's a good thing that people should actually know. This is bad English. Them in that sentence implies there is more than one person. You can refer to a singular person as they, them. That's basic grammar. Nah, he, she, or their name. Their name. How do they never get this? This happens so regularly, so often. Every single debate about pronouns ends in this, and they still don't get it. They still don't get it. You're not born gay. You grow up and decide that you like someone else. How do you decide what you're attracted to? You're definitely born gay. How do you decide you like the taste of apples? Can you grow up and decide you don't like the taste of apples? Does this mean you were born with a certain disgust for apples, but it took you a while to figure it out? Yes, you can be born not liking apples and never liking apples. You don't have control over the food you like. I have never liked tuna. Despise it. Ever since I was born, ever since I discovered tuna, I have despised it, can't be in the same room with it. That hasn't changed in the 22 years of my life. Same with tomatoes. I was born with that. I have permanently had that as a part of me. You are born liking something. If you are straight, you were born straight, and that's how you are. You can't suddenly just go, actually, I want to like men, because you might be able to try, but if you're straight, you're not going to pull it off because you're straight. You're born with that. You don't just get to decide to, I want to be gay now. That's not how that works. Child, I'm not confused about my gender in any way. Public school teacher, you will be. You will be. See, the thing that this fails to address is that lots of children are confused about their genders in their own ways without being taught about gender. When you look at my generation, okay, the supposed generation being super gay, super trans, all of that, we were raised by the generation that didn't teach us any of this. We figured this all out on our own. So how is it that they're blaming education and all of that stuff when we came to this conclusion without a system existence. It's the same with everything else. I am pansexual, meaning I like everybody, right? It doesn't matter what the gender is or anything. Like, if you're an attractive person, you're an attractive person, right? But I didn't know that until I was like 19. I went through my whole life assuming that I was straight and that everybody's kind of attracted to dudes, right? Like, that's normal. A dude sees a naked dude and it is just attractive, and that's just every guy feels that, right? But no, that's not the case at all. And like, at no point was I ever really taught that it's an option that you can in fact like both. I just assumed I was straight with like a little extra pizzazz added on. I didn't realize that I was pan, and that's totally a thing. And like, if at any point in my growing up I was told that like, oh, by the way, it isn't just that men and women like each other, it can be anything else, I probably wouldn't have taken 19 years to figure that out. A name is feminine or masculine. I'm not calling a boy a girl's name just because he suffers from gender dysphoria. Do I belong in the women's restroom? The GOP says I do. Wrong. That's the Democrats that say he does. Quit spinning. Excuse me, sir, that's a trans man. So a female to male. So yeah, the GOP is saying that they should go to the women's restroom because they're saying that trans people shouldn't be going to the restrooms that they identify with. So no, you are in fact wrong. Also, a name is feminine or masculine. I just need to introduce you to, oh, I don't know, Billy, Alex, Sam. There's so many. Should we do a quick Google of gender neutral names? I just want to rock some of these off. Alex, James, Blake, Kyle, Drew, Taylor, Kennedy, Jordan, Parker, Avery, Ryan, Brooklyn, Cameron, Logan, Emerson, Charlie, Ezra, Austin. Just to name a few gender neutral names. They don't just belong to men or women. Was Ashley on this? Ashley wasn't on this list. That's another one. Ashley or Ash, both gender neutral. There's so many. There are so many. So the original post this was on is dumb and uneducated anyway. Unsurprisingly, they're dumb and uneducated. Who could have guessed that a transphobe doesn't know what they're talking about? But the reason they don't know what they're talking about is because they have this insane refusal to learn that is only found in transphobes. And the final post. If agreeing with basic biology and wanting to keep predators from teaching my kids lies about there being more than one gender makes me a transphobe, then I will gladly wear that hat. Hear that, everybody? There is only one gender, and it is human. I gotta talk about it, right? Predators teaching kids lies, and they're talking about liberals being the predators teaching lies. If they want to talk about religion, first up, you've only got to look at the scandals for the last couple of centuries of the church and pedophilia. That's a pretty big thing that went on and still goes on. Second of all, the fact that Republicans are out for child marriage. They have enabled that. They have legalized it. They've made it more accessible. That's a thing Republicans do. Also, the fact that there are multiple people on Congress who are related to people who have done things with underage girls or allegedly done things with underage girls. Matt Gaetz, for example, is currently under investigation for paying an underage girl for sex and then transporting her over a border. Lauren Boebert's husband has a criminal record for exposing himself to underage women, including her. It's a party of groomers, and the whole time they go around claiming that LGBT are the groomers because, much like absolutely everything else the Republican Party talks about, they project. So to cover up the fact that it's actually them doing these things, they go, but the liberals! And it's gross. And if there's one thing we can rectify in the coming years, it's that we eliminate that completely, 100%. And that's where I'm going to end the video, everybody. Just giving you that to think on. If you want to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click that join button on the channel to support me. The channel's going through another little bit of a dip again. This always happens. Eventually we'll have another rise, but right now the channel's it's sliding downhill again, but it comes in waves. So yeah, the support honestly really helps, especially after my video last week that came out. The Vax Happened one got taken down and then got put back up like a day later, so that absolutely crippled any of the views and earnings that came in through that video. Just being a bit shafted by YouTube. It's not recommending my videos to anyone or anything, so honestly the support helps, but by no means should you feel like you have to support me. I'm going to keep making content regardless of that, but anything helps. Even just showing some friends spreading the videos around a bit, anything like that helps. But again, you don't have to. I'm going to keep making videos regardless. Special thank you to Nix, Holly Miller, Carrie Ann Mori, Chase Howard, Karen Duca, Top Shelf, Elle, Rennie, Dev, Thomas Penny, Emily Potter, Greyhound, Maxine Lankow, Gravity Gaia, Kelly Bock, Carolyn, The Angry Potato, Sven Arctic Fox, Outcast Jupiter, Abel Aries Winchester, Ghost Orchid, Charlie the Mad 256, Kate Cat, Two Lakes in a Valley, Ika Limchok, An Agent, Galaxy, Ronnie, Tam, Bug, Toxie Rain, Salted Denim, Poet Blanderson, Auntie Kaylee, EB Agent J, Santa Kiara, and Ashley Fisher for supporting the channel and supporting my content. Thank you so much, guys. It helps a lot more than you might realize. And other than that, as usual, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.